Well, there's people that agree with you and think they've all got a lot on their plates, and we can, on occasion, point that out to them. I sometimes feel like my job has two components: to remind students that there's 24 hours in a day, and that applies to them, and that they actually can't fly. They actually have to walk between one point and the other. And I know that sounds silly, but look, part of it is the exuberance of being in this wonderful place and having all these opportunities and trying to embrace it all, and not really knowing what the time commitments are like and what it means to be able to do this. So they learn, sometimes the hard way, but that no, they got to cut back on things. I will say that students not only take on too much sometimes, but they take on the wrong things, and they discover they're not interested in that thing that they fascinated them in high school, or that, you know, the cool kids on their floor all thought was a great thing to do, and they're interested in something else. So it is an evolving thing, and extracurriculars are absolutely evolving. They change over time. What's fascinating to freshmen is often not fascinating to a student as a sophomore and going forward. So yes, it is normal, I think, at this point for them to be over-programmed, and they have to learn how. This will be the first time for most of them they're learning how to not to program themselves into everything. And they don't have to do everything. That's not actually required of students here at Penn.
Yeah. I think it's a good problem to have. You know, enthusiasm, desire to do more than you can. These are good qualities. You know, they bode well for the future, even if there's going to be some bumps, you know, along the way as you have to shed some of the activities. But really, students need to find the things that matter to them, that excite them, that energize them, whatever those are. They're going to take that out of college, and that's really going to be the thing that matters, you know, beyond college too. So, so it's great that they explore with that kind of, you know, over exuberance, I think.
You could, you know, one thing you could just tell them is, in the midst of all this hurly-burly and these things you're doing, just remember to look out for yourself.
There's that.
Just remember. If it feels like it's become overwhelming, then maybe it has. And maybe you need to cut back, and don't feel guilty about cutting back. You know, do what you need to do to look out for yourself.
And in my advising, I think with almost everybody's advising conversations, you know, we're talking to students about, you know, the courses they're planning, but also what the rest of, you know, life looks like. I'll say, you know, are you juggling a work-study commitment? Are you juggling, you know, being a student athlete on a team? There are all kinds of commitments that people are putting together, and I think, you know, we're trying to get students to think about the 24 hours in the day and what fits and what has to be there and what will work with that. So, you know, yes, we're there every advising cycle and more, telling, you know, reinforcing this
And by the
message.
way, you need to sleep for about a third of those 24 hours.
Yeah. That I guarantee you is not happening. But
Right.